Welcome! I'm Michelle Anderson, the founder of Clarinet Mentors, and today I want to give you some pointers for what to do when your bottom lip inside your mouth feels like it's getting all cut up from your bottom teeth. This often happens when you're new to playing clarinet, or maybe you're in a situation where you suddenly have to play way more hours than you're accustomed to. A lot of times a band might do some kind of retreat where they have several hours of rehearsing over one weekend or something. But whatever it is, if you've ever experienced that feeling of right where your bottom lip goes over your bottom teeth, it really hurts. I have a couple of small pointers for you. Now, if you're regularly getting sore on your bottom lip, that might be an indication that you're biting down on the mouthpiece too hard. And that can cause problems for tone and dynamics and all sorts of other things. So I'm going to reference a couple of other videos in the notes below this video that will give you some pointers on how to check to see if you might be biting too much and how to correct it. But really our focus on today's video is what to do when it's sore. Likewise, if you know you have a situation coming up where you're going to be playing a lot more than usual, this can help prevent that soreness from happening. So some of these are more durable, some of these are sort of quick solutions, but they're all helpful to you. So the first one is just a quick little solution. Really the place that our lip tends to get sore is the inside of our bottom lip, right where it goes over our bottom teeth. And you might want to double check. Inside the skin here on our bottom lip, there's kind of two different sections that could go over our teeth. Ideally for clarinet, we want just the edge of our lip to go over our bottom teeth, which is kind of like the pink part of our lips. If we put too much of our lip over our teeth, it gets us past that thicker band of muscle on our lip into softer tissue underneath. And it's also bad for the embouchure. So you might just double check and see if you're swallowing your bottom lip, you're putting a part of your inside flesh over the teeth that's more vulnerable to getting sore. So you might just want to think about pulling down more and you won't get so sore. But in spite of that, I find if I'm suddenly put in a situation where I'm playing a lot more than normal, my mouth can get sore. I often use this sort of tissue paper. This one's made by Yamaha. It's called cleaning paper for the clarinet. It has lots of purposes. When you get a package, it looks kind of like tissue paper. And one of the purposes is for just cleaning water out of a tone hole if you end up getting condensation in there. But you can also make a homemade tooth patch out of it. So what I do is I cut a little square. You can see this, it's about twice as big as my thumbnail, or it's about as wide as my sort of four bottom teeth. And what I want to do is make this piece of paper big enough so if this were my teeth, I'm going to fold it over those bottom teeth. And this makes a thin layer of padding, and you might think a thin little piece of paper like that won't make much difference. It does. And in fact, if you're using a tissue paper like this, I might even do a double layer. So big enough to fold in half once, as I'm doing right now, and it's still big enough that if I fold it again, I can fit it over my bottom teeth. So with this tissue paper, I usually do a double fold. In a pinch, you can use just a regular piece of paper. What I like about the tissue paper though is it's very moldable and it fits onto your teeth quite well. So I fold it in half, I get it wet, and now if this were my teeth, I'm going to just fold it over, and when it's wet it's a little bit sticky. So it's going to look kind of like this. I fold it over my teeth and this is what you see. Looks kind of funny, but I now have some tissue paper, and sometimes you need to take your tongue and kind of press it into place. Now I'm pulling it out just so I can speak more easily to you, but it sticks onto your teeth really well. It feels very strange for the first 10 seconds or so, and what happens is it molds itself to your teeth, and once you pick up your clarinet and start playing with it, you won't even notice that it's there. In fact, you might need a reminder to pull it out of your mouth before you finish your rehearsal and start talking to people with a piece of paper in your mouth, because they'll notice it. probably is good for one rehearsal at a time. When you're done, you pull it out and you just create a new one each time you put the clarinet in your mouth. That's a quick fix. It does work very well. Now, a somewhat more durable solution, this was taught to me by Wes Foster, who used to play in the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, is to just take masking tape. Now, I didn't have ordinary masking tape around the house, which is kind of that beige color, but this is painter's tape. It also works. Either one would be fine. And what we're going to do with this, it's a little bit thicker, is the same thing, cut a square, but in this case, I'm going to cut 2 squares about the size that would comfortably fold over my bottom teeth. And I'm going to take the 2 sticky sides and stick them together. So now I've taken 2 pieces of tape and stuck the sticky sides together. And you'll see there's a little bit of sticky stuff overlapping. So I'm going to take a pair of scissors and just trim this into a neat square. So what I have now is tape that's no longer sticky because it's stuck to itself. And I have a piece here that is ready to go in my mouth. Now, one thing about masking tape, it usually has some kind of coating on it that tastes kind of bad and makes it a little bit stiff. So the next stage of this, I'll just describe rather than take my camera through the house, is you want to go to a sink and you want to wash this under warm water. So you can even use a little hand soap, but usually I just use warm water and sort of rub it clean. What this does is it softens the tape up and it just washes off that coat that's on there. So once you've done that, then you'll find it's a little bit softer. You'll fold it in half and it'll look something like this. And again, this is going to mold itself over my teeth. And you can make quite a firm crease on it. Once I get it warm and wet underwater, and I put it over my teeth, it will at first feel as though it's not sticking as easily as the paper does, which is true. But then if I pick up my clarinet and again with my tongue push it against the inside of my bottom teeth, with my lip I'm pushing it against the front side of my bottom teeth, after about 5 minutes of playing, it will start to mold to your teeth. It takes a little bit longer than the soft tissue paper, but again, sort of stick with it for 5 minutes or so, and it will really start to mold to your teeth. So much so that by the time you finish your rehearsal and pull it out, you'll see the outline of your teeth, and it'll be like a custom-made tooth mold. That you can just take off, put it in your clarinet case, and next time you play, you could get a little wet, or you just simply stick it back in your mouth, and it very quickly will fit itself to your teeth again. So this becomes a reusable tooth guard. And I would find if there were times where my mouth was really sore, this was really handy for me. So I just kept it in my case and I use it, as much as I need to. So either option works. Paper's kind of a quick fix. You just have to make yourself a new piece every time you use it. With the masking tape, you have one that you can reuse over and over again. But I think it's really handy. So even if you're at a point where you're watching this video because your mouth is sore right now, some kind of tooth protector like this will help you get through your next practice session more comfortably. And just keep this in mind if you ever have an intensive playing session coming up, you might want to take preventative action and just put the piece of paper or the masking tape over your teeth to keep it from getting so sore in the first place. That's my pointer for today. Now, I would love to hear from you. You might have some additional pointers about this or thoughts, in which case I invite you to leave a comment in the comments box below this video. I make a point of going into YouTube at least once a week and checking the comments from you and responding to them. And I also invite you to join my Clarinet Mentors community. If you haven't heard about it, it's totally free to join. It's my way to connect with clarinet players like yourself all over the world. And about every 3 weeks, I send out a newsletter that has a video, just like today's, with one of my favorite clarinet pointers for how to make things more easy for you on the clarinet. But I'll also include in my newsletter recommendations of interesting clarinet gear that I've come across, whether it's mouthpieces or ligatures or reeds or music or recordings, all sorts of things that are probably of interest to you as a clarinetist. And I'll have special invitations for online clarinet events or concert or things that you might find interesting. So all you need to do to join is go to www.learnclarinetnow.com. It's totally free to join. If it's not a good fit for you, it's very easy to unjoin at any time. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Clarinet Mentors video.